can we do this forever? That's a question that every TV show has to answer, and the answer is almost always no. After so many years, the writers burn through ideas and the audience loses interest.
Look at him. He's laughing.
But it's hard to know when that happens. And you might think, this isn't very good, or at least it's not as good as it used to be.
I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them.
The Office is pretty great. It's a mockumentary sitcom with relatable character-driven humor, led by Michael Scott, a boss who's desperate for attention.
Uh-oh! Better put on your ski boots! Wow!
So when Steve Carell left the show after season 7, a lot of people bailed, with good reason. I mean, he was the main character.
We were thinking maybe we could keep this thing going.
What?
But the last 2 seasons aren't that bad, and I think Michael's departure offers an insight into how The Office is structured. See, I'd argue that Michael isn't the main character. It's Jim. Jim is the surrogate for the audience by being a normal person. Michael dominates the space, and that's the joke. He's incompetent, he doesn't really deserve to be a boss, and he doesn't really deserve to be the lead in a fictional documentary. But he is. The core comedy is not necessarily what Michael says, but the way his subordinates react.
He's back! Ah! Okay.
Ideally, the show would have stopped when Michael left, but replacing him with another obnoxious personality kind of works, at least as a concept. Andy Bernard is the regional manager in season 8 and most of season 9.
It's unbelievable.
But under the right circumstances, I think Dwight should have been the replacement. First, it would have echoed how Michael got the job. His management style didn't matter, but he was the best salesman.
Dwight is an obvious candidate for my job. He has the best sales record in the office. He loves the work. He is, however, an idiot.
Dwight is also a more relevant character. The writers tried to develop a spin-off that focused on his life as a farmer, so it shows they were confident enough to make him a main character. And Dwight annoys his coworkers more than Michael ever did, which is comedy gold.
This cost me $129.
Yes.
I guess they wanted to stretch his manager arc to the series finale so they could end on a high note.
Dwight Schrute is manager!
But it leaves Dwight in a vacuum for 2 seasons, and it trashes Andy's character. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Initially, it looked like Will Ferrell was going to be the next manager, because he guest starred for 4 episodes. And I'm really glad that he wasn't, because I don't know what his character is supposed to be.
They are trying to figure me out, and I don't like it.
It's about to get all stupid up in here!
He starts off as a humble guy who's compatible with Michael.
Did that just happen?
Then he's a cool guy who everybody likes.
They're all treating him like he's some sort of god.
Then he's rude.
Enough about your baby, okay?
Then he's a maniac for making Andy drink soap.
Drink some soap.
Oh, and he has a peanut allergy because why not?
Oh, wow! You're getting nut particles all in the air.
And that's just the first episode. He spends the second episode worrying about his stage fright.
The Dundies are about coming together!
And now he's a bad joke teller.
I'm not much of a performer, unless you count singing in the shower. Boy, okay.
In the third episode, he's a terrible salesman.
That is cold, sir. Absolutely cool. You know what? It was a complete waste of my time.
And he struggles with an eating disorder by grabbing cake and screaming at it.
What am I doing?
Come on, Angelo.
Hey.
No!
Uh-oh.
Funny, right?
No!
In the last episode, he's a sexist.
D'Angelo is a huge sexist.
And a fake juggler.
Oh!
Then he leaves the show by injuring himself.
Doctor is in! I don't know what the that was.
Luckily, they stayed in-house and picked Andy.
Is there anyone who maybe was a little underwhelming at first, but now seems like a safe, if not slightly unexciting choice?
Season 8 had to convince people that Andy was a worthy follow-up to Michael, and it's pretty good.
You don't have to prove anything. We like you as regional manager.
But I don't think they knew how to write the show without Michael. Michael faked a call to impress Ryan.
This is a very important client, but I have the most important client sitting right in front of me, my boss, so I will call him back later. No. Customer service is obviously a priority one.
So Andy fakes a call to impress a client.
There is nothing more important to me right now than this meeting.
Really? Because your mother is dead.
Michael put his leg on Jim's desk, so Andy has to sit on the desk. Michael misled people.
I took her to the hospital, and the doctors tried to save her life. They did the best that they could, and she is going to be okay.
What is wrong with you?
And so does Andy.
Dwight is no longer with us.
What?
He's gone, damn it. He's been promoted to VP of Sabre Retail, and he's staying in Florida forever.
So, he's alive.
But you can't transfer Michael's traits onto Andy without the underlying motivations. See, Michael is a very specific character. Everything he does is filtered through his need to be liked.
Do I need to be liked? Absolutely not. I like to be liked. I enjoy being liked. I have to be liked. But it's not like this compulsive need to be liked.
Michael wants to be the funniest guy in the room. He wants applause and admiration. He wants to support women and minorities because it makes him look good. But the more he tries, the more he reveals how ignorant he is.
What you're saying is extremely misogynistic.
Yes. Thank you. Women can do anything.
I'm saying that you're being sexist.
No, I'm being misogynistic.
Even his stupidity is motivated by attention. Michael understands that intelligence is valuable, so he pretends to be smarter than he is.
Sometimes the smartest people don't think at all.
You just came up with that.
As I was saying it.
Yeah.
Michael is known for mispronouncing words. But keep in mind, the joke is not Michael is dumb, but that Michael is reaching for words beyond his vocabulary because he wants to be perceived as intelligent.
This is a good one. A particular concern for office workers is a sedimentary lifestyle which can contribute...
Sedentary.
Yes? They're trying to make me an scapegoat. Well. How the turntables... I am not to be truffled with. This would be a huge coup, people. There's the x-axis. The odds of them getting together were insurmountable. It is ergonomically correct. He can heal leopards.
Michael.
I'm Jesus, David, and you know why? Because Phyllis, a woman, has usurped my role as Santa.
Michael.
You're going to H-E-L-L double hockey sticks.
Tell him to call me ASAP as possible. Thanks. Respect. R-E-S-P-S-P-T. I am downloading some N3P music. That is sort of an oaky afterbirth.
What was that?
Jim Halpert is smudge and arrogant.
I think you mean smug.
Several times a day, Michael says words that are way beyond my vocabulary.
I know where this is going.
Do you?
No.
Okay. Remember Spider Face?
No.
Okay, because the quote was, cut off your nose to Spider Face.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So imagine my surprise when I heard this joke in season 9.
I just got off the phone with my doctor, and it turns out I contracted chlamydia from Aaron.
First of all, no one is that stupid. Especially not Andy. He went to Cornell and he has one of the best vocabularies in the office.
I feel lachrymose.
He even speaks a little French.
I'm just bidding a bon voyage à la mon petit fiancé.
I'm pretty sure he knows how to pronounce chlamydia. In fact, I'm positive because he led a sex ed class in season 7.
Herpes, like all STDs, is a consequence of sex. Can anyone else name any other consequences?
So what's the underlying motivation for Andy mispronouncing chlamydia? It's not to be liked.
You're a big idiot. Get out of my office.
Andy.
For some reason, they turned Andy into a douchebag in season 9.
David Wallace sent him on an outward bound wilderness adventure for a whole month to make him more decisive and confident.
Right. Andy goes through 4 stages, and they're all really pathetic. First, he's rude towards Nellie.
Hey, all right. Whoa, you suck. All right, who's next? Daryl.
It's supposed to be revenge for stealing his job, but he decided to keep her on his payroll.
When can you start?
And again, what's the motivation here? Michael insults people, but it's unintentional.
No, that is the fun of this place. I call everybody faggy. Why would anyone find that offensive?
Okay, I think us were just like if he's lame or something like that.
That's what faggy means.
No, not really.
Oh.
So by the end of an episode, he learns his lesson.
I'm sorry I called you faggy.
I know.
You're not faggy.
I know you are.
You're a good guy.
You too.
Michael is endearing because of how far he goes to fix his mistakes.
Oh. Ah. Oh. Ah. Ah. Oh. I did it.
But Andy is being mean just to be mean.
I wanted to talk to you about our working relationship this year. It's going to be terrible.
Not necessarily.
No, I'm going to make sure that it is.
Then he goes boating for 8 episodes because Ed Helms had to film The Hangover Part 3. But there are better ways to explain a character's absence.
Where's Andy?
He's on one of his honeymoons.
What?
He made non-refundable deposits on his honeymoons, so he's just knocking them off one at a time.
He leaves Aaron and turns into a crazy person. When Andy gets back, Aaron breaks up with him and he acts like a child.
This is a really uncomfortable situation that you've contrived.
Really uncomfortable situation?
Yeah.
And finally, he decides to pursue a singing career. He fires himself by pooping on David Wallace's car, and he has a meltdown at an audition.
You can't just sit here and cry.
Oh, I can't so just sit here and cry.
So, I don't get it. Why would the writers build him up just to tear him down? Why would they kill a relationship they spent 3 years developing? Why would they sabotage themselves when they already had a handicap? Well, a lot of veteran writers left the show after season 8, most notably Mindy Kaling and BJ Novak, which is why Kelly and Ryan aren't in the last season.
Shortly after Kelly left, Ryan quit and also moved to Ohio for what he claimed were unrelated reasons.
But my theory is that they wanted to make Dwight manager by the finale, but the reason he wasn't the manager already was because of his personality.
Sorry I freaked you guys out.
So while they were maturing Dwight, which I'll talk about later, they could also tear Andy down to make Dwight look good by comparison. Okay. And if that's what they were going for, I guess it works.
Hey, Burning Man, if it's not selling out too much, you might want to throw on a tie.
But at what cost? Another reason might be because they had no idea what to do with Aaron, and she could have something to do if she pursued another relationship. There's a trope called the love dodecahedron, which basically means that most of the cast overlaps in a romantic relationship. Pam and Roy are engaged, but Jim is in love with Pam, so Jim dates Karen instead. Pam breaks up with Roy and retroactively goes on 2 dates with Danny Cordray. Toby is in love with Pam, but she's unaware. Michael has a crush on Pam, but she rejects him. Pam gets back together with Roy and then they break up again. Jim breaks up with Karen and eventually marries Pam. Pam is a target of jealousy for Jan, who's dating Michael. Michael breaks up with Jan and dates Holly. Holly is transferred, and in the meantime, Michael dates Pam's mom, Helene. Michael breaks up with Helene and Michael proposes to Holly when she moves back. Of course, Michael has a crush on Ryan, who wants nothing to do with Michael. Ryan has an on-again, off-again relationship with Kelly. Kelly dates Daryl to make Ryan jealous. Daryl and Gabe pursue Val, and she chooses Daryl. Gabe dates Aaron, but only after Aaron breaks up with Andy because she finds out that Andy was engaged to Angela. Angela marries Senator Lipton, who has an affair with Oscar. Angela has an affair with Dwight while she's with Andy and the senator. Kelly kisses Dwight. Dwight seduces Nellie in Florida. Nellie kisses Toby. Andy and Dwight pursue Aaron when she starts working at Dunder Mifflin. Kelly gets a crush on Andy when he's trying to date Aaron. Andy and Aaron date again, but they break up when Andy goes boating. Aaron dates Pete, and the show ends with Dwight and Angela getting married.
Love triangle, drama. All worked out in the end, though. The hero got the girl. Who saw that coming? I did.
Some relationships are better than others, and some relationships are meant to be comedic.
What are we doing? This is still around.
But some relationships scream, I don't know what to do with this character, and I think Erin is a clear example of that. Erin has 3 traits to work with. She's quirky, she's dumb, and she's an orphan. So love stories provide a lot of mileage. Crushes, embarrassment, flirtation, big romantic gestures, competition, jealousy, dates, kissing, more jealousy, more kissing, secrecy, and a breakup. Just do that 3 more times and you've got a character on a sitcom regardless of personality. I think it's pretty telling that once Aaron and Pete get together, they don't interact anymore except for when Aaron loses a competition.
Oh! Sorry, I'm mad! I don't like losing. I thought I was going to win. Sorry. I'm gonna go upstairs.
Which begs the question, why is he with her? Aaron had to break up with Andy because their relationship was built on a superficial plot line, not compatibility.
You know, we've both been into each other at different times and just never really synced up. Now we're in this weird dance. And
I'm afraid you've lost my interest.
And her relationship with Gabe doesn't even make sense.
Thank God he's my boss, because I would not have said yes to a first date if I didn't have to, but it's been great.
She's not attracted to him and she doesn't even like him. They're simply together because it makes Andy jealous. Andy has a girlfriend in season 8 because it makes Aaron jealous.
Jessica is my super serious girlfriend who is seriously awesome and seriously sexy.
The longer a TV show is on, the more you get these half-baked obstacles. Daryl can't be with Val because she has a boyfriend. Michael can't be with Holly because she has a boyfriend. Dwight can't be with Angela because she has a boyfriend. Twice. And yeah, Jim and Pam are structured around 2 intersecting love triangles. But they're believable. Pam and Roy are engaged, and Jim and Karen are friends for 7 episodes before they date. The difference is Jim and Pam have concrete identities outside of their relationships. Jim is funny, modest, and easygoing. So when he dates Karen or Katie, I know what they like about him.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Jim, by the way.
Katie.
Hi, Katie.
Hi,
Nice to
you
meet
sit
you.
out there, don't you?
I do. That's what I'm best known for. Sitting out there.
Pam is too complacent to make any big changes, which explains why she's with her high school sweetheart. So when they finally get together, there's still a story to tell. And that includes marriage and kids, but specifically the mundane moments of a long-term relationship.
Is the magic on?
It's funny you bring that up because, yes, it is.
I knew it. Oh, man. Just like that, huh?
And that's the beauty of television. People can change in organic ways. Jim is supposed to be cool, so the later seasons experiment with the opposite.
Wow. I'm just gonna rewind and back off a bit, so...
Pam embraces a dorkier side of herself,
What up, 212?
and she loves vaudeville.
I give, he takes.
I don't even know who you are anymore.
Yay.
But characters can only change if they're allowed to, which is pretty rare for a sitcom. The beginning of a TV show is a blank slate. The writers get to explore the characters, but as a comedy progresses, you'll notice a concentration of behavior.
Kevin, I can't decide between a fat joke and a dumb joke. Boom, roasted.
Here's a joke from season 2. Here's a joke from season 5.
Cookie, Kevin. Cookie.
There is no cookie, Kevin.
Is there a cookie?
Mm-hmm.
And here's a joke from season 9.
Angela's cats are cute. So cute that you just want to eat them. But you can't eat cats. You can't eat cats, Kevin.
The joke is Kevin likes to eat, but every time the writers tell that joke, they have to top themselves. And after 100 episodes, it gets absurd.
Why are you eating stem first?
This is a new food for me. How else should I eat it?
The other way.
Absurdity is unpredictable. It can be hilarious. Or it can be really stupid.
Yes.
I love the earlier seasons because Kevin is a normal person who's judged unfairly. Michael doesn't pick him for the basketball game because of his weight, but we find out he's an amazing player. Everyone thinks Kevin is stupid because he's slow, but he's a great gambler.
I won the 2002 $2,500 no-limit deuce to 7 draw tournament at the World Series of Poker in Vegas. So yeah, I'm pretty good at poker.
The later seasons take Kevin's perception literally, so now the writers are locked into telling unbelievable dumb jokes.
C is for suspension. Wait, C-R-A-Z... M-N-L-O-P... F...
Meredith has to be trashy. Creed has to be weird. And Dwight, well... Dwight Schrute is a wacky, silly cartoon character, but because he's a main character, he has a little more variety. He's a nerd, a farmer, a paintballer, a karate enthusiast, and a former volunteer sheriff's deputy. Comedically, Dwight is overly dedicated to things that most people ignore. Paper, bureaucracy, and small amounts of power.
So we need someone to work this Saturday, and I think that should be... Jim.
God, this is so sad. This is the smallest amount of power I've ever seen go to someone's head.
And that includes his devotion to Michael.
Happy birthday moment, Michael.
Thank you.
Michael and Dwight have a codependent friendship. Dwight loves Michael because he's an authority figure and he feels in charge by association. Michael doesn't really like Dwight, but Dwight is the only one who laughs at his jokes.
Everybody can laugh.
It doesn't have to just be the idiots.
Not the way I taught you.
But one thing I've noticed about comedies is the tendency to humanize extreme characters over time. In season 4, Dwight gets depressed when Angela breaks up with him, and I like it a lot because he has to deal with something serious. But it creates a vague precedent. After suffering, Dwight can't really go back to being the same yuppie, but he still has to make people laugh. And that disparity is visible in Michael and Dwight's friendship.
Inside is a rather handsome, sexy man.
Vamping.
Hey, why don't you just sit down, please?
Yeah, I've been sitting all day.
Dwight still accommodates Michael because it's funny, but now his devotion is conditional.
This office needs a strong man. Say it.
No.
So. All right, well, you're gonna have to deal with this yourself. Fire Jim.
No.
I'm cashing in the favor. Fire him.
What are you
Do it. Promote me.
No.
You know what? You can keep your stupid favor. It's worthless. And this is my dinner on your face. I'm keeping it.
Dwight makes fun of Michael.
You'll fall in love with her.
Yeah? So what if I did? That would take precedence and I would expect your support.
He chides him.
You know, we really don't announce out loud our sales that much.
Why not? It's part of the sales experience.
It's not really 1992 anymore.
And he seems to understand exactly how lame he is.
You pathetic, short little man. You don't have any friends or any family or any land.
It's a little too real. And it's worth exploring if Dwight really likes Michael or if he's just power hungry.
Michael wasted an enormous amount of the group's time and patience with non-work related ethnic celebrations and parades of soft-minded do-goodedness.
On the surface, Dwight is a kiss-ass, edging his way into management. But I think their friendship is best defined by the episode The Return. The backstory is that Andy convinced Michael to push Dwight out of the company. The episode examines what a yes man is by contrasting Dwight with Andy.
Where you going?
Bathroom.
Oh, I'll go to the kitchen. I'll walk with you.
Michael can't figure out why Andy annoys him. If someone agrees with everything you say and wants to be around you all the time, then why is that person annoying?
Because on paper, Andy and I should be best buds. We even have the same top 10 all-time favorite movie list, down to the number.
Andy's a yes man.
So Michael starts to realize that he took Dwight for granted.
They always used to arrange the toys on my desk in a very pleasing way. It used to brighten my morning.
Oh, that wasn't the night crew. That was Dwight.
Really? That was very nice of him.
Dwight isn't pretending to love Dunder Mifflin or Michael.
My boss isn't funny.
Well,
I don't get to wear my ties.
no. I'm sure.
So
maybe you should come back. You should come back. Please. I don't want somebody sucking up to me because they think I am going to help their career. I want them sucking up to me because they genuinely love me.
So I disagree with Dwight's realistic wake-up call in the later seasons. He's not enthusiastic. He doesn't laugh at Michael's jokes.
All right.
Being really funny, and then you went too far.
And he spends most of the time arguing with him.
I don't need a history lesson, okay?
What do you think history is?
Just we need to get her out of there.
And there's an episode that directly addresses that. In season 6, Michael needs help looking through a dump.
Michael, why would we all go to the dump?
Obviously nobody wants to go, so this should be the part where Dwight eagerly volunteers.
I need you to do something for me.
Yes, anything.
Let's go.
Yes! Okay, Dwight, grab your stuff. We're going to New York to party with Ryan and to meet girls.
Yeah! I'm coming, Michael! I'm gonna save you! Michael is in trouble! I do not want okay? Hold on, Michael! I am coming! Wait there!
But instead he says,
I'll go, Michael. You'll just screw it up.
ugh. And then they spend the rest of the episode lampshading their severed friendship.
You know, Dwight, there was a time you'd be pinching yourself to have the opportunity to look through a dump with me.
Yeah, well, the acorn becomes the oak.
For some reason, Dwight blames Michael for his position at Dunder Mifflin.
I hitched my wagon to a horse with no legs.
Wow!
But why? There's a little arc in season 6 where Jim is co-manager and he gets mad about that. But by this point, that position doesn't exist anymore. So I don't know what Dwight expects Michael to do. It's like he's bitter that he isn't automatically manager. And he spends Michael's last days whining about a letter of recommendation.
You expect to be buttled after you didn't recommend me?
Dwight, I don't own Dunder Mifflin, okay? The job was not mine to give.
Dwight throws away his Dundee and acts like a man baby.
Looks like it's just you and me, Dwight.
Correction. Just you.
And he keeps pouting long after Michael is gone.
You wanted the job is yours, just do the job.
There's nothing funny about this. It's just a tedious, uncomfortable echo of an old friendship.
I've given up expecting Michael to do the right thing, or the decent thing, or even the comprehensible thing.
For Dwight to finally realize that Michael is flawed, he would have to grow emotionally. He would have to understand people and be able to recognize all of Michael's shortcomings. But that fundamentally contradicts Dwight's comedic value.
What is Michael Scott's greatest fear?
Loneliness. Maybe women.
Wrong. He's not afraid of anything.
He doesn't understand people, which makes him the butt of the joke for someone who does. That's the basis of Jim's pranks.
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
Bears do not... What is going on? What are you doing?
So when Dwight tries to retaliate, it backfires on Dwight because his impression shows how limited his people skills are.
You look really nice today.
I look like an idiot.
He's unable to see the irony of pretending to be cool. But in season 5, Dwight makes fun of Andy for going to Cornell.
Take that sweatshirt off!
Except now, Dwight is dishing it out. He's able to predict Andy's reaction and commit to the sketch.
No, I get it. I totally understand. And I just want to assure you that I mean no disrespect. You see, I'm applying.
So when Andy tries to retaliate, again, it backfires.
You're supposed to cook these, aren't you?
Cornell.
These 2 episodes illustrate Dwight's subtle character shift. He pivots from being a badass wannabe to being an actual badass.
Just
Ow. Take me to Robert.
Ow.
To me, a character who's that dedicated to everything is only funny when he's unsuccessful. It's funny when Dwight acts like a warrior,
I was defending my honor.
Oh, was that
like
it?
a samurai.
Really?
but loses a fight.
8 points! 9 points! Stop it! No! Come on! Michael! Open your mouth! No, Michael!
It's funny when Dwight tries to be a great detective,
Guess what I found out about Oscar tonight?
but misses the obvious.
He was lying about being sick.
It's not that funny when Dwight successfully plants a listening device by using a decoy. Clever, maybe, but not funny.
I'm not insane.
He still says wacky things, dresses up in costumes, everything you'd expect the old Dwight to do.
This makes sense then.
But now he's able to gauge behavior and evaluate his relationship with others. So Dwight is stuck in this ambiguous place for half the series. Is he a dweeb, or is he an awesome mastermind?
Pick a lane, people.
For example, in season 6, Dwight exhibits a classic personality by worshipping Michael.
Hello, my name is Dwight Schrute. If you are listening to this, you are a lucky woman Michael has seduced.
Then 2 minutes later, he's protecting his own self-interest.
I need to stay in your room.
No way, what if I meet someone?
I'm staying in your... Come on.
No.
In the same episode, Dwight wears a wolf shirt to pick up women.
Because of howling during sex.
Okay.
But then he actually sleeps with a gorgeous woman.
Okay, get out of here. Okay?
I get what they're doing. The joke is Dwight hooked up with a hot girl. But he's not attractive, he's wearing a wolf shirt, and he has a bad personality.
You're worried about your horses? That's cool. How many horses do you have?
I just don't buy that Dwight is a secret playboy.
Call me.
I'm not gonna call.
Or at least it's funnier when he isn't.
Where's the clitoris? On a website, it said at the crest of the labia. What does that mean?
The impulse to change Dwight shows a lack of faith in the character. I feel like the writers ask themselves too many questions. How can a grown man idolize someone who's so pathetic?
Why does he do the things that he does for Michael? I just don't get it. What is he getting out of that relationship?
How can he fall for the same pranks without pranking back? How can he settle for a woman who's so unpleasant? But there are people who never change. They live in the city they were born in, they marry the first person who loves them, and they double down on their idiosyncratic beliefs. So maturity isn't necessarily realistic. But it's a TV show. People are guaranteed resolution and happiness. I just wish it was earned. That's what I love about Michael's last season. He has to learn lessons before he can move on. He has to accept that he's not a great filmmaker.
It is good.
No, it's not. It's not.
He has to reconsider the people he idolizes.
I'm not blind. I know exactly who he is. He is selfish and lazy and image obsessed, and he is a bad friend.
And ultimately, he has to let go of the idea that his coworkers are his family.
Holly's my family now. She's my family. And the babies that I make with her will be my children. The people that you work with are just, when you get down to it, your very best friends.
In the end, The Office strayed too far away from its original premise. It's about ordinary people making the most of a boring job. It's not about blue vomit, or lice grenades, or bicycle tricks. It's not about shooting a coworker with tranquilizers and sliding him down the stairs.
Get set in your haunches. It's like you're catching a medicine.
The size of my haunches.
Okay.
A big joke can be funny in the moment, but subtlety is timeless, because we connect to things that are relatable. There's a great scene in the first episode where Jim gets stuck in a conversation with Roy, and they run out of things to talk about.
Yeah.
And we've all been in that situation. It's awkward. You don't really want to talk to that person, but it's rude to walk away, so you're coerced into staying. But in season 8, Jim runs away from Robert California to avoid a conversation.
Where's Jim?
He just rolled out and crawled out.
Can you call security, tell him to keep an eye out for him? Time to settle this.
He tries to drive away, but he's not allowed, so then he climbs onto the roof. And, you know, it's amusing, but it's not very relatable because I've never climbed onto a roof to avoid a conversation with my boss. That being said, even the later seasons deal with office-related issues. Combining birthday parties, deciding whether to buy new chairs or a new copier, getting people to jump for a photo, or building a tower out of customer complaint cards.
Hey, it's just a mistake. It's just a mistake. That's what this tower's all about. Mistakes. Okay, if you're afraid of screwing up, the tower's not for you. Let's get back to work, huh? Come on, you in? Yeah, there we go. All right, let's do it.
The stakes are low, and they're supposed to be. But in the same episode, Angela hires a guy to break Oscar's kneecap, so that's disappointing.
The analytical part of me wants to examine it. But I know it has no content.
Everything ends, and at a certain point, you've seen the best already.
All right, let's quit while we're ahead.